shouldn't say, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
It's us. All praise.
Mexican brothers getting shot in their own driveway in front of their kids. All of these are the beginning of sorrow, right? We believe these things. We come out here every week to show our faith.
Come out here and stop you? Did we come out here to talk to you? Did we come out here to talk to you? No, we came out here to talk to our people. We came out here to spread love to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, same people, your people.
Jeremiah says, come on. Hey, y'all in the spirit.
I ain't man one yet. Oh, y'all can't.
I almost brought that shirt out too.
You did too. Y'all done made me look like a sore thumb.
Yeah, you're going to have to stand right here in a minute.
Let's start over on that. Can you get Jeremiah 1
Ecclesiastes 6, verse 10 in the NLT. Everything has already been decided.
Everything has already been decided. God declares the end from the beginning, right? God says, Yahweh, who the world calls Christ, is the Lamb slain from the foundation of the earth. Right? So the plan was always what is going on right now today. Right? Go ahead.
It was known long ago what each person would be.
Right?
So there's no use arguing with God about your destiny.
Destiny and free will are two different things, two opposing ideas, right? The exact opposite. Jeremiah 1 and 5.
Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5.
Get out of
It says, before I formed thee in the belly.
Speaking to Jeremiah, before you were formed in the belly, this goes for everybody, right? Go ahead.
I knew thee.
I knew you. You're my creation. How could I not know you? Right? Go ahead.
And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee.
Right?
And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
So everybody follows God's instructions for their life. Give me Proverbs 20 and 24. You got something?
I was going to cover it.
Give me go ahead.
This is Proverbs 20 and 24.
Bring it out, huh?
It says, man's goings are of the Lord.
So, it's all controlled by the Most High. Actually, give me Daniel 4 and 35. Go ahead.
How can a man then understand his way, his own way?
So we have an illusion of free will because we have a limited understanding of existence. So it seems like we're choosing. Actually, give me Proverbs 21.
Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart.
So, like I said, we have an illusion of free will. It seems like we choose what we want to do. Go ahead.
The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
In Hebrew, heart is speaking about your mind, right? So it says the king's heart, the ruler's hearts, their minds are in the control of the Most High. Right?
As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will.
So, like I said, he chooses what we choose to do. He chooses the direction we take.
Are you familiar with what determinism means?
No.
So it's a philosophical term, but it basically means that everything that I do, like right now, like me moving my hands was already determined, and I have no choice otherwise to change it.
So, destiny.
I kind of, yeah, but it, like, I feel like
Determinism, same root word, and predestination or predetermined. Right?
yeah.
So everything has been determined before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess, well, like, that's kind of what I mean. I don't believe in that. I do believe in predestination, but I think it's just a little different because determinism is like, well, you can't change what you're going to do, like to choose whether to sin or not because it was determined. So that's just, I'm just trying to, like, hear you guys and stuff.
Give me 2 Peter 2 and 12. Give me Actually, you can start at 11. 9 and 11. We'll go through a lot. No, we're still on. Get your precept first.
This is Galatians 1 and 15. It says, but when it pleased God, who separated me from my mother's womb and called me by his grace.
Let's go to Romans to prove that.
This is Romans 9 and 11. It says, for the children being not yet born.
This is speaking about Jacob and Esau. I believe you're talking about that a little bit.
God says like Jacob had blood.
Right, so we're going to start a little bit before that.
It says, for the children being not yet born,
Before these children were born,
neither having done any good or evil,
or either one did good or evil, right?
that the purpose of God, according to election, might stand.
God has already elected their life, or what they would do, how they would end up, what they would be in this life. Right? Go ahead.
Not of works, but of him that called us.
So not according to our own thoughts or what we want to do, good or evil. It's all according to like this. Word for God and right? That's where it is. Right? So when you think of Peter, it has a script where the author or the director might write script. Right. People in the movie just follow the script. Right? It might seem like when we're watching it, these people have their own choice. There's twists and turns. There's plot twists. But the conclusion was reached before it got on screen. Right?
It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger.
So this is the prophecy that happened where when Jesus Christ's kingdom is established, the elder son has to serve the younger.
Right.
Right, go ahead.
As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
So it's not because Esau was evil, and it's not because Jacob was good. Right? It's just because that's the lot that God chose for those. Two rocks. Actually, when you go into a lot of the names of the Bible, look up this word omen nomen. Right? So he names certain people according to what they would be like in reality.
I had a question on like Jacob and Esau.
Right.
I agree that like that was kind of predestined. The Lord knew what He was going to do, right? But part of me like when it talks, I honestly don't remember which part of the Bible but when it talks about Jacob and Esau and the gift that they gave their father or whatever, Jacob gave it out of his heart, but Esau didn't. He gave it out of just kind of hatred. And so I think it was also on Esau though.
I think he's still about the sacrifice.
Sacrifice. I think you're talking about Cain and Abel. Right. Which makes sense because Cain and Abel's story is parallel with Jacob and Esau.
Yeah, sorry. The point was, because Jacob, that, sorry.
No,
I
it's fine.
got mixed up. Yeah,
That's
it was
fine.
Cain and Abel.
Yeah, like I said, we were speaking to somebody last week about energy and spirits.
I remember that.
It
Yeah.
was Jason. So, yeah, right. Give me... What the hell am I watching? Regeneration. Oh, give me John the Baptist. John the Baptist. I don't know why I can't think of it right now. This is Elijah. You got it? Go ahead. So So the Bible speaks about regeneration, reincarnation, something of that like, right? Not to where like the Hindus and Buddhists believe that you can come back and be a cow or a butterfly or something like that. You come back as your nation, and as far as what we can tell in the Bible, your son changes, right? I got it right now. Start up. Start the channel.
Matthew 11, verse 12.
So this is red letter. This is Jesus Christ words, right?
And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence.
So it's speaking about John the Baptist, right? And it gives us something else that's pretty key. The kingdom of heaven suffereth violence. Christianity, for the most part, will teach that angels are born with demons but also and so forth. That's not right. Like we established last week, heaven and hell are on earth, right? Angel just means messenger. So the rulership, the rightful rulership, like Hispanics and Native Americans, we're suffering violence in this world. Right.
And violence, and the violent take it by force.
Right. The violent take rulership of the earth by force. Go ahead.
For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John.
Right.
And if you will receive it,
he says, if you can understand this, which everybody can't, right? But if you will, if you can, go ahead.
This is Elias.
This is Elijah, right? So he told them plainly, John the Baptist is Elijah. Right. Now, give me Ecclesiastes 1:9.
Hey, sorry, I gotta head out, but thank you for your time. Thank you for discussing.
Sorry?
Yeah, you got it.
You out too?
I don't know. I was just praying for God to
So, you both are Caucasian on both sides of the family?
That's the thing. I got everything from my dad. My dad, started reaching out. You got any questions? My mom's wife. You got any questions about the mom?
Sorry, real quick before I head out, I just out of curiosity, like, how does that look like? Like, what if someone's like sent Native Americans based on their
I'll get you two. Give me Ezra 2:15.
This is Numbers 1:18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigree.
So your pedigree, your lineage is determined by what?
And they declared their pedigrees after their family by the house of their father.
So who you are is determined by who your father is. A lineage is a line, right? So it really doesn't matter what your mother is, what your father's line is. It's fine. The man produces it. Right? So
like fathers meaning, that's a very
okay, so
fathers,
if your dad is a white man, his dad is a black man, he goes by what that line is. So you can't change the line. If your grandfather is a black man, that would make your father a black man. Right? Give me Ezra 2. Oh, so Blake Griffin's son looks like Hitler's ideal image of an Aryan man, right? Blonde hair, blue eyes, but because of who his father is and who his father is, that will make that white-looking child a black man, or Israelite, right? So it's not about what you look like or what you appear to the world to be, right? It's about your lineage. Right?
So how far does that trace back?
Job 8:8 says, for inquire, I pray thee of the former age, and seek out the search of the fathers. Right? So search out your lineage. Right.
Jeremiah 17:4.
Right.
And
You
thou,
asked, how far back does that go? Right? Good question. Go ahead.
and thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that
So the heritage of the Israelites is this Bible. The laws of God, the prophecies, Jesus Christ came to save them, so on and so forth. This is their heritage. The prophecy was that Israel and Jeremiah himself are going to discontinue from their heritage. They're going to lose everything. Their names, their gods, their custom, this Bible, right?
thou even thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
So there's a prophecy, many prophecies about the Israelites that they would have to serve their enemies in a strange
Do you guys have an actual King James Bible, bro?
What's your nationality?
What?
What's your
You have an actual
nationality?
King James Bible, bro?
What's your nationality?
What should it be? I don't got King James.
It's whatever your father is.
Yeah, something. You're pretty handsome, bro.
Pause.
Deuteronomy 28. That we would lose all that, right? Our records, understanding who we come from and who our God is. He gave us another way to trace our lineage. All praise.
All praise. Get the Most High.
All praise. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 45.
Bring it out, huh?
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee.
So God said to the Israelites when they came out, Moses told them, if you obey God, I'm going to put you on high, and you're going to rule the world, basically. Overflowing with blessings. If you disobey me, you're going to be cursed, and there's a laundry list of curses that's going to follow this certain people, right? Go ahead.
Till thou beest destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Because Black Hispanics and Native Americans are hard-headed and sottish children, go ahead.
To keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee, and they shall be upon thee for a sign.
So he says these curses, these bad things that are going to happen to this particular person are for a sign. Like the real Salado and real Ave sign identifies where we're at. These curses are going to identify who these people are when there's no other way to trace their lineage.
And for a wonder, and upon thy
For a wonder, meaning to consider who these people are by what these curses say.
and upon thy seed forever.
And it's going to be on a particular people forever, right? So regardless of how long it's been, what land they're in, you can go through this list of things and identify in every nation who these people are. Go to 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
So we have signs down here, Black, Hispanics, Native Americans, we have some about Caucasian people, right? This depicts the slave trade, the triangular slave trade. People know it as the transatlantic slave trade, right? So ask you guys a question. How do the so-called Negroes get from the west coast of Africa over here to the west coast? Transportation. Both. Right? Has that ever happened to anybody else in history?
Traveling or
In terms of slavery?
talking about like Persians, Babylonia, when they're traveling by boat, talking about slaves with us. They're like conquering like
You said Persia from where?
Persian to Babylon.
So from Persia to
Oh
Babylon.
wait, no, sorry, hold on.
Okay, that's fine. Question is now, those Canaanites who took any any other nation of people. We know this is speaking specifically to Israelites, right? So let's say a Canaanite took a Greek man by way of ship into slavery. Today, those people can go back to Greece, right? They still have a homeland, they still have their traditions, languages, so on and so forth. The Bible says the Israelites will be the ones that lost them.
Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So Egypt is synonymous with bondage or servitude, especially just thinking about how the Israelites saw Egypt. They were slaves. Go ahead.
With ship.
Read that verse.
Exodus 20, verse 2.
Right, just to prove it.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of Egypt,
Right? He brought us out of the land of Egypt.
out of the house of bondage.
So it's synonymous with the house of bondage. Right?
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
He says you're going to go into a place like Egypt where you're going to be slaves. Give me Revelation 11:7. Right? So New Testament and Revelation says there's a place that is going to be spiritually like Sodom and Egypt, not the physical land.
Revelations 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lay in the street of the great city, which spiritually,
Not literally.
is called Sodom and Egypt.
Sodom because of the homosexuality, fornication that goes on. Egypt because this is the last place of Israel's slavery according to Christ.
Whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Right? He said you're not going to see the land of Egypt again. That was prophesied to us. You're not going to go into the land of Egypt by mass. Right? Go ahead.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
So once we got off those boats from the west coast of Africa, we were sold on auction blocks to white people, right? Our enemies.
For bondmen and bondwomen.
For a slave man and slave woman.
And no man shall buy you.
That word buy means redeem. So until Jesus Christ comes back and gathers the Israelites from every nation we've been scattered into, we're stuck in this place. Right? Like we went into last week, we're serving out a punishment. Right? Because our forefathers were disobedient. We had to pass it. It was a righteous thing. Right? So a lot of times we'll cuss white people out because y'all had it handled. Right? And you have to pay for that. But at the end of the day, it was our fault. Right? Give me what you got? Give me Limitations, Thomas.
You said, I think it's answer.
Oh, sure.
Limitations.
Limitations 5 and 7.
Limitations 5, verse 7.
Yep.
Our fathers have sinned
Our fathers were disobedient to God, right? Go ahead.
and are not,
And they're dead now. Go ahead.
and we have borne their iniquities.
So we got that punishment even though we're not the same generation that did these things, right? Now you get Isaiah 14 and 21. So when you think of Ezekiel, think of Jeremiah, think of Isaiah. We read Jeremiah earlier. God ordained him to be a prophet before he was born, right? These are righteous men in the Bible who had to go into slavery with their nation. Even though they were good, even though they were obedient, a nation as a whole, because we were disobedient to God, everybody had to go into slavery, right? Get that verse.
Isaiah 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children.
So this is speaking eschatologically, right? In the future, kingdom of heaven, right? Israel's going to be gathered and put back in the promised land. Everybody else is going to go with us, right? Actually, read 1 through 3 and then skip to 21. Okay, let's get some context.
Isaiah 14, verse 1.
Right?
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
So, in times, even though Israel forsook God, disobedience still to this day, act like we don't love God. God says, future prophecy, I'm still going to have mercy on my chosen people. Go ahead.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob,
Right.
and will yet choose Israel,
He's still going to choose Israel. Go ahead.
and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them,
These other nations of people are going to be joined with the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
They're going to cleave to the house of Jacob. Right? Excuse me, sis. Y'all got a minute?
Actually, no. I'm going to church.
This is church. Can I read you one verse? One verse. Give me Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
I'm gonna head out, guys. Thank you.
All right, now.
Take care.
Deuteronomy.
So y'all going into a Christian church?
Yeah.
Okay. So we read the Bible. We teach the Bible. We teach history, archaeology, so on and so forth. Y'all got a flyer? Cool.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6.
Do y'all believe in equality? Equality?
Yeah.
Yeah? In what sense?
Everything I do. What I mean?
You sure?
What can I do?
Everybody has specific talents, right? Things that they're good at that other people might not be as good, right? You agree with that?
I agree with this. If I push myself hard enough, I can still be as good.
Okay. So you agree with equality, do you too? Okay. Does God? You don't know. That's a good answer. Even if you believe it, if you don't know, you shouldn't speak on it. That's a good answer.
Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
Right?
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
So God says black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are holy, meaning separate, right? You're not like all of creation. You have a specific purpose.
Right.
Right, go ahead.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
You're special in ways other people just are not. Right? Go ahead.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
According to God's word, black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are above everybody else on earth. Even though He created everybody, He only loves one nation of people.
Right.
He put this one nation of people above everybody else. And when we start following God, He's going to make us to rule this world.
Right.
Right? Give it to me in the NLT. Have y'all ever heard that? No? You've never heard that before?
What'd you say?
You've never heard that there's no equality, that God chose black, Hispanics, and natives above everybody else? Give me Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Y'all believe in keeping the commandments of God? That's fine. You know that Jesus looks like a so-called black man? You know that God is described as looking like a so-called black man? No? Give me Daniel 7 and 9.
Are you reading me another verse?
If you would like.
That's fine.
Hey, YouTube videos, Facebook, Instagram, my number, hit me up. Those videos. It's all you want. Hey, y'all God's chosen people.
Right.
You're princesses, kings, and gods on this earth according to what God said himself. Right? Learn something about yourself.
Right.
Okay, so he just said something about the Bible, right? What did you say?
I just asked you.
Okay, so basically, in the Bible, I believe that certain books of the Bible are not supposed to be read because they, what is the word? They turn it around, like they add words into the Bible that are not right. But then the King James version and the I think it's the NIV version. They just like they say it, if that makes sense.
So the responsible thing is to find out what the original manuscripts were written, right? Which is Hebrew and Greek. Then you go and study that. Then you can get into comparative text with different translations to fill in gaps. Right? Just so you see the whole picture, not just pieces.
Right.
Read that.
This is Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
So we're supposed to seek out of the book of God and read, right?
No one of these shall fail.
These prophecies are not going to fail because God is not lying, right? The things that you find in this book, you can put to the fire and it's going to be true every time. Right? Go ahead.
None shall want her mate.
You don't have to make this book with the Quran or with anything else, right? The truth is the truth, regardless of when it was said or who said it. Right, go ahead.
From my mouth it had commanded, and the spirit it had gathered there.
Give me that.
Deuteronomy 4, verse 20.
Right?
But the Lord, 4, verse 2. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you.
So it's against God to add to these words or to take away from them, right?
Neither shall ye diminish aught from it.
Right? So don't add anything to what's said. Don't take anything from it. Give me Nehemiah 8:8. You got Proverbs? Go ahead. Hey, you got me on Saturday, huh?
Yeah, I leave Saturday, bro.
Where you going?
Colorado. I'm only out here for school.
Okay.
Well, I got y'all's contacts. So.
All right.
Proverbs 30:5 says, every word of God is pure.
Every word of God is pure. Right? Go ahead.
He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him.
Right?
Add thou not unto his words, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar.
So God says if you add to these words, you're going to be found out to be a liar. Right? When your doctrine or what you're teaching is tested, questioned, examined, then it's going to be found out that what you're saying is not what God is saying. Right? Nehemiah 8:8. I'll let you guys go.
Nehemiah 8, verse 8. So they read in the book and the law of God distinctly.
Now, Black Hispanics and Native Americans are the ones that wrote this Bible. Right? They get this word from God, and they're the people of the Bible.
And gave the sense.
So we read out of this book and we give people the understanding of it. Right, go ahead.
And caused them to understand the reading.
That's all we're doing. That's why if you guys go to church tonight, we've already read more verses than the Christian churches. Y'all about to go dance and praise and sing and it feels good.
Right.
But they're not fixing the problem.
Right.
They're not really teaching you what the Bible says.
Right.
With that, yeah.
So, Saturdays, y'all got my info. Saturdays, we out here for our people. Right? Y'all be easy. Stay safe out here.
Shine the light. They done let them bruise in the dough. Oh shit. They done let them bruise in the dough. They done let them bruise in the dough. They done let them bruise in the dough. We ain't going nowhere. Hebrews. They done let them bruise in the dough. They done let them bruise in the dough. Look, Joe Biden need to free Dark Lo. The hell is wrong with dude? If you Hebrew K, what the hell is wrong with you? He said, Deacon, you a Hebrew, I can't do a song with you. If the Christians find out, then they gon' take me off the pews. I'm like, shut the hell up, clown, stop picking sides. I'm so Hebrew, you can see it in my eyes. Lately, I've been seeing the Hebrews on the rise. And if they say we hate white people, that ain't lies. I know some Hebrews from out west, them boys be blickied up. I know some Hebrews from out east, them camps be lit as fuck. I know a sister from the west and she be scriptured up. And if you jump in her DM, she gon' refuse to lust. I like pomegranates, cause it got stars on it. My heart bleed for my people, though it got scars on it.